Hello and welcome back to the RaidzBank podcast. My name is Hoyt and I'm joined here with Mr. Heartless. How are you?
Good. How are you, Hoyt?
Hey, doing well. We just finished a bingo, so we're kind of coasting through the, I won't call it the bingo burnout, but the post-bingo blues. I know Heartless had 2 bingos, so this episode will be dedicated to bingos, kind of what they are, our favorite stories, our favorite tiles, maybe least favorite. So stay tuned for that. But before we have that, we've got a little bit of housekeeping. It's been a while since we last spoke. There'll be a lot of overlap with this, but Heartless, what have you been up to in the big scheme of things?
In the grand scheme of things, well, I guess we're going to talk bingo, so I'll save a couple of things. But besides the sort of bingo excursions, yeah, I've been salvaging a tiny bit, but mostly just doing whatever the tiles told me to do during bingo. That was my week. So I'll keep it pretty low key for the moment, and I'll kind of save everything for later.
Yeah.
What about you?
Likewise, I did a lot of bingo, of course, and I also, right after bingo ended, like the night it ended, I splurged and bought Expedition 33.
Oh, damn.
Which I heard you did as well. Yeah, I saw you on Steam.
Yeah, I bought it. It turns out, though, there was a little bit of an issue.
Oh, what's that?
You know that 980 Ti I have? Well, it's not going to run new games, so I'm gonna go get a new graphics card. It's so old. My graphics card, if you don't know anything about them, the first numbers are basically like the generations, right? I think I'm 6 generations behind at least. At least 6.
Yes.
So
I think it's from like 2015.
Yeah, maybe it's about 10 years old. Anyways, 10 years ago, it was like a great graphics card. It like almost as good as you could get, because like the 10s, the 1080s or 1090s or whatever they had at the time were coming out then. But so it was like maybe second best in slot. Now maybe it's like I'm using a bronze simi to try and kill, Royal Titans. I need to upgrade my system, so it's on the list of things to do. I don't really know what I'm going to get, because I kind of just want to do a full computer rebuild, but I might just get something mid-range.
Yeah. No, that's what I did. Did like a budget build, and it's been doing really well. The game is really well optimized, so I don't have like a Giga PC or anything. I've got one that can, pull its own weight, but it runs like butter. I'm starting to, once I get in the later areas, I'm getting a little bit of frame drops, but no, I can't recommend the game enough. I'm excited for you to play. It is one of those games where the less you know going into it, the better.
Yeah.
So I won't even like explain anything. You kind of just have to trust and go in it. And if you're like me, I didn't know anything. I was wondering if it was like kind of like a Japanese game. No, it's a French studio. So there's no fan service. There's no weeb stuff going on. I know a lot of you don't mind that, but for those of you who do, this isn't that kind of game. Just really, really freaking good game. Won Game of the Year in like every category it could. So there's a reason for it. So check it out. And I've been using my bingo kind of exhaustion to funnel into the single player game, because as I've talked about a few times, I'm not good about variety games. I don't usually play them. So it's really nice to like sink my teeth into one. I will say though, I'm like trying to rush through and beat it because I want to get back to the scape grinds.
Okay.
But I've been salvaging while I play. I'm at 95 sailing, just going really low and slow. Did a lot of PVM during bingo. So, all right. I should have mentioned this before, but we had some scheduling problems with trying to get Poplo on. He is, I believe, enjoying a nice vacation or break or trip out of town. So wishing him the best, and he'll be on the next episode, I'm sure. And he can fill us in on the group Iron Man. And he played bingo as well, right, Poplo? Right, Heartless?
Yeah, he was one of the captains.
Okay, good. All right. Moving forward, we do have a few clan achievements that are not bingo related. because if we did bingo achievements, we would be here all day. So outside of bingo, kind of just overall account stuff. Ryukison, big friend of the pod. We talk about him every episode, just about. He maxed for the first time. He's not one of these remaxers. It's the first true max cape. So big GZ to Ryukison. Were you there for that one, Heartless?
I missed it sadly, but Ryu was a good friend, so I'm glad that he kind of came out of nowhere with the max. He was like, I'm not a skiller, and then just for a month just went hard on the skilling, and here we are, fully maxed.
I think he had a bunch at just like 98 sitting there because he, for like a week straight, he was just dropping a 99 every day. Mm-hmm. And then he knew bingo was coming up, so he saved the max for right after. So big GZ to Ryu. And then Scythe of and God of Thunder both remaxed as well. Big GZ to them.
Huge.
And that is it. We just got 3 people maxing, just your average casual clan full of maxers. So congrats to them. I'll join you on the hill one day. And Heartless, what's your sailing now?
I'm about to hit 92, so I'm halfway there.
Okay. Nice.
It's going to be like 60 to 80 hours of salvaging left. But like I said, I don't get AFK time at work, obviously being a teacher. So I'll just kind of chip away at it a few hours here and there. I'm guessing it's probably going to take me to about February to max. So not too bad. Nice. Maybe a little bit longer, but we'll have to see how much PVM I get pulled into over the next month. Yeah.
The salvaging merchant stuff is just so busted, and I hope I get some cannon barrels on the way. I've been considering going to Sharks too for the hook, but I can't be asked to do that.
You see, it's like they're barely an upgrade. We don't even use the cannons right now. They're guaranteed gonna release another way to get them. There's no way it's just gonna be a 1 in 20k, which, maybe if you're lucky you get one on the way to 99, or it's just, they're gonna have to fix it. So I'm not even worried about anything to do with sailing collection logs. I'm not worried about getting a best in slot boat. I might get a skiff, like the fast boat, at some point here, like go to do some frost dragons. But that's it. I'm not going to go for a sloop. I'm not going to like max out the sails and everything. I'm just going to take it easy because there's no chance that they leave the rates as is.
I'm also worried to, let's say I had the materials to make the skiff. I'm worried about spending them, and then 4 months later they release a bigger boat that is like the meta. Like, I'm worried about the sunk cost of regret, where I'm like, oh man, I just maxed out this boat and now there's a new one everyone uses, and that was a waste of my dragon sheets, I
agree. They're almost certainly going to release some kind of merchant size ship, right? We're talking about the ones that the merchant traders use that you see flying around. They're going to release one of those big ass ships at some point. And I assume it's going to come with new content. Either like, I don't know, chartering tasks where you have to like take people from A to B. Who knows what they're going to come out with, but that boat will come out for sure. And the way they've sort of set up their best in slot upgrades boat wise, it's going to be crippling to max out that boat.
Yeah.
It's already crippling to max out a sloop. It's something like 40,000 frost dragons, right?
I think the small one's like 13 or 17,000.
No, the small one's more reasonable because you don't need all the the sheets, but the big one takes forever. It's like you're gonna get,
the big one's ridiculous.
You're gonna get something like 5 draconic visages on average before you get your sloop completed. That just doesn't seem right. Like, they're gonna fix it for sure. So I think waiters will win in this case.
Yeah, I agree. Well, very good. We'll look forward to that. We'll keep our eye on it, and we're breezing through this, but up next we have game updates, and we actually don't have any. I think the Jagux team is enjoying a much deserved and earned break during the holiday seasons, hopefully like all of our listeners as well. They did release episodes 7 and 8 of our rival podcast, the OSRS official podcast. This time with Solo Mission and Bodhi.
Yeah, some pretty decent guests, but
yeah, they were gonna come on our pod, but they scalped them from us on those days.
Totally, it's unfortunate, but
yeah. So I haven't listened to those, but once I get back in the office, I'll give my review. I'm sure they're excellent. So, all right, Well, before we get into the topic of the episode, which is bingo, we do want to give a shout out to some new Patreon members. We have Mr. Maytag Man and Trolley D. Big shout out. Thank you for supporting the show, as well as Mikey and Dart41, our returning supporters. If you would like to be a part of these shout outs, check out our Patreon below. You can support for as low as $3 a month. And if Patreon's not your thing, consider listening to a quick word from our sponsors. All right, and welcome back. Thanks again for that short commercial break. That'll be the only one during the show. Going into our topic of bingo. I'll give a quick overview of why this episode we're talking about bingos. But I don't just want to devote this entire episode to our specific clan bingo we just did. I want to talk about bingos overall, so it's a little more applicable to the masses. But we just ran a 3.5-day bingo. Our theme was the 12 days of Christmas. It's more like the 12 drops of Christmas. I don't know. So there's 12 of one thing, 11 of one thing, 10, 9, 8, etc.
You want to run them through the board?
Yeah, you got it pulled up.
Yeah, so it was 12. What was it? We had it even. There was even a song that went with it, 12
brothers drumming.
12 brothers drumming.
Barrows uniques.
11. I can't remember.
Clues a Kraken.
So it was themed around the song. So and Hoyt.
Yeah, 10 demonic dragons, 9 whiners wiping, which was wilderness. 8 maidens milking, 7 scythes a swinging, 6 geese a laying. That one was Slayer mob themed, but we had the Shellbang Griffin. 5 golden rings from the DT2 bosses. And then 4 commander drops, 3 full helms, 2 unique jars, and a mega rare and a purple chest.
Yeah, there you go.
So
it really comes across in Hoyt's voice how great that song is.
Yes.
But yeah, it was themed around the song. So Stu and Thunder and Poplo kind of came up with the idea and workshopped it. And it was a pretty quick bingo. We threw it together and tossed it out within, I would say, 5 days to a week. It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
The turnaround. We just thought we'd throw together a little pop-up event. And we didn't really mention it on the podcast, right? Because it came around so quick, but it was fun. If you want to get involved in any of these kind of things, joining the Discord is definitely the place to get involved with the community. But we're gonna talk all about it. And if you've never done one before, if you've done tons of them, you'll get to kind of hear what ours are like and our thoughts behind bingos in general. So
yeah. So so we usually try to do these around twice a year. We've actually been a little more frequent, maybe 3 times a year. There's just a ton of work behind the scenes and trying to find a good time, you all can imagine. So that's usually our cadence. We like to partner with TNL or XP Waste and, let them do one, and then we'll do one a few months later to fill the gaps. Theirs are a lot larger than ours, though. And then this one, we had 5 teams of 15, and the pot was 1.2 bill. So each winner got about 80 million.
Winner take all. No handouts.
Yep. No handouts. We used to do second place got your buy-in back. It was 15 mil buy-in.
No, that was a you thing, Hoyt. You wanted to give second place a little something. Never.
Yeah, it just felt right if you're so close. I mean, your team was so close to winning, and
our team came second place, and I don't want a handout for coming second. You guys keep the money. You deserve it.
Fair enough. That was good. All right, so for all the noobs out there, Heartless, I know we've done this before, but would you like to explain what is a bingo event? Because they're probably thinking about grandparents in a nursing home.
It's basically what it is. It's a bunch of
stamps.
old video game players in their late 20s to early 30s sitting together, all bald, all smell bad.
Their backs hurt.
There's 15 cans of Bud Light on their desk and 2 packets of licorice. And a couple empty pizza boxes on the floor. But basically what happens is it's like a checklist of items that you have to gather as a team. And there's some variations, like sometimes you need to gather certain items first, but basically like in our case, there were like 78 different tiles or something that you had to complete. And one of them was like, get a Barrows unique. So you had to get a piece of armor or weapon from Barrows, and then you post it up in your team's chat, and then you get a check mark basically saying that you've completed that tile. Then they all have like varying difficulties. So obviously the most challenging of the tiles would have been get a mega rare. And there's a whole bunch of stuff in between, like the God Wars dungeon hilts or getting a drop from the Shellbane Griffin. It's basically a checklist of items that you and your team has to complete over the week. So we had 15 people. Any of the 15 could check those items off. So it's kind of fun. You could be grinding some, I don't know, there was like 4 of us grinding Bandos at some point, and someone pulls the Bandos hilt, then you can leave and go and work on something else. So it's kind of like you're playing group Ironman for a week and you have these goals to hit, but there's 15 of you instead of just a couple. At least that's the team size we go with, and I think 15 is the sweet spot.
Yeah, I love 15. If it's too small, you risk like someone. We had shout out to Jay-Z Soup, but he's from New Zealand. So if there's no one on for him, it's not a very good experience for him. Mm-hmm. Luckily, we got some degens like myself up really late, and it's bad when the New Zealanders hop in chat. Oh, yeah. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah, I've had him on a team before, and he's like, oh, morning, mate, and you're like, oh no.
Yep.
What time of the day is it now? Yeah, it's not a good look. So yeah, you pull some late hours. It's a lot of like team camaraderie stuff, which is something you don't typically get in an individual game like RuneScape. So it's nice. Yes. It's a nice team experience, and you're all working. It's competitive in that you're working against other teams. However, it is very much teamwork focused thing. So you got to be working on stuff together, good communication, and yeah, overall very enjoyable.
Yeah. Love bingos, and it's something really unique to this like game.
Yeah, totally community driven, right?
There's nothing similar to this. Thankfully, with like Gridmaster, Jagux they're aware of how big these events are, so they're trying to make it easier for us and put it in the game with like its own system. I don't know when they'll implement that, but you got to see a beta of it with the Gridmaster, so they're definitely cooking it up. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to that. Up next, how are those teams made, Heartless? I know we used to like hand make them, but now we have a draft.
Yeah, we used to use some like hand making like algorithm style stuff where we'd like snake draft them, but now we just straight up draft. Our bingos are usually small enough, like sub 100 people at the moment. So we can just gather up a bunch of our friends to be captains, and then we just do a live snake draft in Discord. And it's honestly one of the best parts of the entire bingo. It's very fun. So you, me, Poplo, and Toddy and 40 IQ, those were our captains. We had 5 captains. We had 75 people this time. So the signups were perfect. It worked out really well. We were able to get 15 on each team. And yeah, we typically just do a draft. If the bingo gets bigger and you can't coordinate, 10 people's schedules, I know TNL, they do like a closed doors draft, but typically a draft is what most clans do for these kind of events, though you can just make the teams with a group of people, but drafting is a little bit more fair, I would say.
Yeah, and I know we used to do where like you could request one guy to be on your team, but that just doesn't work for a draft, and it's so overwhelming. Like you can message your captain during it and be like, "Oh, pick my friend Bob," but they're probably so overwhelmed looking at sheets and who's available, they barely see it.
Yeah,
but,
agreed.
Very good. So, Heartless, what are you looking for in your drafts?
As a captain, so I guess I've played. Yeah. I'll state my credentials first. I've played bingos since probably 2020. And it's 2026. Oh god, it's 2026 now. I'm getting old. I played bingos for probably 5 years, and I've probably played at least 3 a year. So I'm up to 15, and I would say at least I've probably done them since 2018. But anyways, I definitely at least half of those I've organized. We'll talk a little bit more about like organization and philosophies at the end. because I've played in a bunch of different clan bingos. I do think we have the best ones personally, but that's just, it is easier too because we have less people. And I've tried maybe 6 different clans bingos over the years. I forget what the point was. What am I looking for in a bingo teammate? This doesn't matter whose clan bingo you're in. Hours are key. Like whoever's going to play the most is the most important person. That's for sure. It doesn't necessarily matter about your skill level as much. Just the more hours you put in, the more valuable you are as a player. And since this one was over Christmas, it was really hard to tell who was going to be able to play or who wasn't. It kind of felt like either you have family stuff that you have to do and you can either get a couple hours in here and there, or you have no family stuff and you're off of work. So you're playing, 15 hours a day or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So there's kind of, that's the main thing I look for. And then there's 2 other things is like skill would be the second one / account. So if you're I guess, low level group Ironman with no gear, but you're putting in 12 hours a day, like there's only so much you can do. So that kind of becomes a factor. Or if you're like a max main with all the gear in the game and you're a grandmaster, then obviously you're going to be able to do things that the other person isn't. So that's a factor, though not necessarily the most important. And then vibes is like the third factor. Like, do I know the person? Am I friends with them? Have I heard good things? Are they chill in voice chat? Are they going to join voice chat? Those kind of things are also important. But the other
the
2
personality picks.
Personalities is pretty key because it's all about like team vibes, right?
Yes.
But I'm not always worried about that because I'm quite dramatic too, so I can hype people up pretty well. But you've been on my teams before, so you know what it's like.
Oh yeah. You used to draft me back in the day when I was a young noob because you knew I'd go hard for the tiles.
Hoyt was my favorite mid-tier draft pick. He's always good for the hours and the good time in voice chat.
Sleeper.
So. Yeah, I love the good
I'll
Hoyt
go for
pick.
the golden tench
What do you think, Hoyt? You've captained quite a bit now. What do you go for?
Yeah, this is the first bingo I've won as a captain.
Yeah,
so
Hoyt won, by the way, like
quite
dramatically as well. But we'll go over that later.
Good. Heartless was right on my heels, though we were worried. Came down to 1 tile, which was the mega rare tile. But nonetheless, we got crazy lucky, which I'll go into. But as far as what I look for in a draft, I get really numbers based, which has kind of screwed me in the past because I got too stuck in the numbers. And I don't know, I got last the previous bingo. So I was coming off of like a bad streak. And the one before that, I came second to last out of 5. So I think the one before that was maybe second. But anyways, finally, I got the dub. I was looking for your EHB for how experienced you are, the amount of time per day you play. But also, I pulled everyone's EHB from the last bingo. Because if you've done one of our bingos before, and you go hard, I was able to snipe a couple people. I wasn't able to get this one. I know you got him, but like Gorley Bot, when you look at him on a sheet, it says like, I don't know what he wrote down, let's say 6 hours a day, okay, right in the middle. And then he's got like very little EHB, but this dude's a freaking beast during bingos. I mean, he goes hard. He showed up on the Hall of Fame like twice for 2 different things, I think, but on my sheet, he showed up in, pretty green blocks because I had pulled his EHB from last bingo and he was pumping like 20 EHB. So I think that's the one little competitive edge I do. But
a little money ball action there, Hoyt, hey?
Yeah. Besides that, nothing else other than like my memory of. The good thing with having a smaller bingo is I know most of the people I play with them, so I kind of can know their personality or who I want to play with, and that's good. Yeah,
that's one of the things too, is if you've got like the right group of people, you can rope them together, and people who's maybe they're just tentatively joining a bingo are like, see what the vibes are like. This is how I play bingos. If I join a clan bingo that I don't really know anyone, and I get drafted, if my team's like growing hard and they're sending raids and they're doing well on the board and everyone's having a good time in voice chat, like I'll play way more versus if the team is just like super casual, doesn't maybe care about going for the win or doesn't I don't know. It's like it's a vibes based thing, right? Like my time played will be matched to my team. So typically in our bingos, every team goes hard. So it's pretty easy to rope people into, playing more than they say they might or whatever. So that's definitely another factor you have to think about. But the money ball angle from Hoyt is big. I know Gorley quite well, and he's a big money ball guy too. So we were running some behind the scenes numbers. So don't you worry. I've got a guy for that. So he's my math boy. You pick him for his mathematical skills, but he did grind super hard this bingo. He said he wasn't going to talk to his wife and kids for 3 days. So I take that as a big Dobby. They'd had enough over Christmas, so it's all good.
That's funny.
So it was nice to be with him.
Yeah, it took some risks too because the numbers were good, but there are people I wasn't too familiar with. Some of them I heard their names, some were just fresh, like Bombs. I think he came from TNL, but dude's just got a stacked account. I didn't know the name, but I had to cast the the life preserver and catch him out in the crowd, and he was a very good value pick.
Yeah, to value. Turns out he had the best RNG weekend of his entire life when he played in our bingo. So I would say the value was worth it, for sure.
But he was on the whole time too. And the moment I met this guy, we were in Chambers, and he shows up with the full Radiant Oath plate, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, part of the thing about being a captain in bingo is like all you can really ask for is someone to be nice, be chill in voice chat, to hang out with, and like show up and play, put some time in, or at least what they say they are going to. That's all you can ask for. The RNG element is something completely different, right? Like I think my team played the most hours by probably quite a decent margin, and we still lost. Like sometimes it just comes down to luck, and that's the way it goes. But it's that's part of the fun of bingo, right? It's like technically anyone can win, no matter. It just kind of depends on like where you get lucky, where you get unlucky.
That's a good point, and something I was going to say, but I forgot, is that I did the same exact methodology and thinking, drafting this team as I did when I came in last, but I won purely because of luck. Like there was no different. We still went hard and everything, but it was just purely dumb luck. So part of bingo like is in your control, but it's an illusion.
Yeah, it is an illusion because like
the winner usually just gets the drops everywhere quickly.
Yeah, I had some people who put in like 30 plus EHB, like efficient hours bossed over like 3 days, like 10 hours a day. Yeah. And they didn't get anything, like not even a single tile. Yep. And I've drafted these people back to back to back bingos, like Raccoon and Fear, and they're my boys, but they're so unlucky whenever I draft them. But I draft them again in a heartbeat because it's not really about the RNG or the winning for me. It's about having a good time. So we had a terribly sick group of gentlemen during our bingo. Hoyt, I don't know about you, but a lot of our team was like quite ill. They're quite sick. So
physically ill.
Yeah, like physically
I think we
ill.
lucked out on that.
Oh yeah, we had some. This is the first time I've ever had a sick team. There was something going around, something in the water, which was it was pretty funny. But anyways, yeah, that's basically it. So I'm glad we covered that. Yeah, as a captain, you just got to do your best, but yeah, a little bit of luck.
Yeah. So we did 3.5 days. No matter what we pick, I feel like the last day is so hard. I'm just like exhausted and like in a bad mood. Maybe not the last day, but I don't know, like this time Sunday.
Are you talking about how... So for those of you who don't know, Hoyt and I basically always... We get some help from other people, like some consulting, but it's basically just the two of us making the bingo board, or it has been in the past. This one has been the most collaborative, but in the past, Hoyt and I just get in a Discord call in a couple nights and just kind of crush it out, right? Mm-hmm. But I think what you mean, right, is how many days we make the bingo. Like, is it 10 days? Is it a week? Is it 3 days?
Yeah, because we're slowly like chipping down, but it seems like the sweet spot is maybe that 3-4 day mark.
I think 4.
But we've done like 7 days before, right?
I would say a week is a standard bingo. If I sign up to some random bingo, or if we sort of extrapolated stats, I would assume that a week is standard.
I would agree.
I think 10 days would be a long one, and I think 4 to 5 days would be a short one. So this one we did was 3.5. And even by the end of the third day, we were all tired, right?
Yeah, I was like not in the best mood because I've just not been sleeping, and
a week is too long. And I think as we get a little older, the late nights you can do them, but you just can't do so many in a row anymore. Yeah, it sounds like old man vibes, but I mean, like, I'm 32, I'm like ancient, but I definitely can't. Like when I'm 20, I can stay up to like 5 a.m. and then get 3 hours of sleep and go to work the next day. Like I can't do that anymore. It's just not the same. So you got to pace yourself, but it's easier to go hard on like a shorter time. So yeah, 3 or 4 days seems to be the sweet spot.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. There's one night I wanted to only sleep like 4 or 5 hours, and my body just ignored that, and I slept in late, and I woke up pissed, like I let my team down, but my body was just like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
You gave me like 4 hours last night. I'm gonna get it back today.
Yeah, that happens to me too. If I stay up too late, I'll just sleep in all morning.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Yeah, I think 3, 4, maybe 5, but at a certain point, it's just like you want it to be over. If you're a good team player, right, you're going hard the whole time, like, because you don't want to let your team down. If they see you logging on to Valorant or League, you're going to be in trouble. So
yeah,
you're locked in.
Yeah, no League of Legends loginers out there. Don't do that to your team.
It happens.
It does happen. Well, it happened to my team once because we finished the board a day early and we all started playing League of Legends and stayed in voice chat to make the other teams think we were still working on the tiles.
That's awesome.
I think before we move on, philosophically, one thing that we do way different than other clans is that we hide our progression. Like we don't have a leaderboard. We don't post our drops. We turn all of our clan drops off. And I think it's probably one of the greatest decisions we've ever made as a group.
Yep.
Because even if you're in last place, you don't know what the other teams are doing. So the fact that it's hidden keeps you motivated.
Yes.
And I think that's...
Even hiding the voice chats is good. Because if everyone has 8 people and your team has 2, you're going to be sad. Yeah. You just are.
And like as moderators, you and I could peek in, or we could see and not tell our teams, but it's like it also would ruin it for us. So I just keep everything shut, and I try not to look at the other. I can see the other voice chats, but I mean that's not too bad. But it makes, generally, I would say everyone has a much better time than when there's leaderboards. I think leaderboards are fine for like the first and second place team, but that's about it.
I think board peeking, like, because my team was like, well, like if we're winning or not. I told them once we blacked out the board, I peaked because of obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And before that, I was like, no, it's like just spoiling a TV show you're watching.
Yeah, it ruins it. Why would you want to? Why would you want to know? Just go and have a good time, and then see where everything lies when you're done. Just put in as much effort as possible. And I think generally people find it a lot more refreshing. It's like, yeah, you can be disappointed when you lose, but you had a good time during the bingo. And I know
I remember last bingo when I got last, my team, we were pumped up, spirits were good. We thought for sure we were second or third place until the ceremony. We were in dead last.
And then my team had finished with like 30 hours to go. We'd blocked out.
Yeah, we had no freaking idea.
Yeah, that's I think that's part of the fun though, right? Is that you don't know where you are, and that keeps you motivated.
Yeah, good on you guys. You guys hit that really well. We had no clue, so we were shocked.
That was the summer.
When I saw you blacked out the board, I figured it was a few hours ago, and you're like, yeah, we did it like the night before. I was like, what? Damn.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah, so it was good. A philosophical footnote there from us, but yeah, we do keep things hidden. We've had quite a bit of migration from TNL, which is obviously kind of a clan that I assume we'll share listeners with, because they're another league podcast. My God, they're another RuneScape podcast. And if you're listening to one RuneScape podcast, you're probably listening to 2. So I'd imagine if you're listening to XP Waste, like there's a decent chance you also listen to RaidsBank and Sebe and whoever else makes RuneScape podcasts, especially if you're looking for content. So we have some like mixing of our clans. We have some of their members, they've got some of our old members, whatever. And I think they did the same thing this last bingo. They hit all their leaderboards, and it was like such a good change. So I'd recommend anyone who like runs a clan or is involved in a bingo. That's the only recommendation I have, is just hide the leaderboards. It makes everything's so much more fun.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So up next, I wrote down some clans do skilling tiles, and we do not. It's really just because, to me personally, a bingo is all about the luck. So skilling takes the luck out of it, turns into a math equation.
Turns into a chore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Although, as we all know, I love skilling. I would love an excuse to go grind agility for a weekend and not feel like I'm doing agility for a weekend, like I'm playing some other game. But everything has to be like a random drop. We also don't do like infernal capes, right? Get 10 infernal capes just because
no skill based.
It turns into like a math equation.
Yeah,
there's no RNG.
I totally agree with you. Obviously, we're on the same philosophical point. If I was to play devil's advocate, I would say those tiles exist for people who, like, why would you want them in your bingo? Oh, well, I want people to feel like they've participated, even if they are not able to get any RNG tiles. And that's fair. Yeah. I think that's fine if you have a 10-day bingo and you want to put like a 2 million XP agility tile. But the reality is every team's going to do that and it's going to suck. So It's just a chore that you have to get done. You could say the same about RNG, but it's not really. That's the whole point of the bingo, is that you can either get lucky or get unlucky on tiles. And that's what makes it fun. So the XP tiles, like, yeah, I think they're fine for longer bingos, but for these short bingos, they would sap the fun out of it. There's other ways to get people who are working or don't have as much time to play involved in the bingo that don't include XP tiles. It's just in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think something cool that we do that, I don't know if it was my idea or if I started it, but we do a Hall of Fame.
This was all you.
Yeah, it takes all the people who did or didn't get a drop. It shows like who did the most GGs was Doubles. I don't know if Doubles was the one who got the GGs drop for my team, but he at least gets like this pat on the back, and it's cool to go through here and see the insane ones. I actually saw here Heartless B 291 KC at Venenatis.
Yeah, I did an 8-hour shift at Venenatis on Saturday.
Holy crap! Were those in duos and I did
trios mostly, and I did not get the drop. Okay. By the way, we went to bed. Yeah. We went to bed that night without the drop. We'll talk more about it when we get to it, though.
Yeah,
but it's pretty fun.
I like this. It kind of rewards the people who didn't get the drop but win hard, and I think it's cool to see too. There's always like someone who did normal gauntlet on here. Like, what are you doing? But this time there was none of that. A chick was on here for a normal TOA. That is like 2K.
A standard chick 150s. Go get yourself a shadow.
Yep. Get your shadow. That was good. I think that's cool. But yeah, all of our tiles, it's got to be RNG because that's just our philosophy. Mm-hmm. And then I wrote down team versus solo. Everybody wants to raid on bingo. Maybe not everyone, but 90% of people want to raid. So we do balance the raids drops and the solo bosses. And now we have a lot of duo bosses with the Titans and Yama. So that helps. But yeah, that one we don't really have to cover. We just know we did both. This
time we decided Hoyt mentioned that, God Wars has aged well, and I think that's really true. You can do it solo or group. I think God Wars is one of the most fun things in bingos too. We decided to put a Lord of the Hilts tile, so you had to get 4 unique God Wars Dungeon Hilts. It included Next, though that one's like ultra rare. So yeah, I think that was a great tile. Like, you had to get those 4 drops. So that was the 4 commanders. So that on the song, if you're thinking 12 all the way up to 1, that was the 4th spot. So theoretically the 4th hardest of the rows. And I thought that one was brilliant, honestly.
Yeah, that one was fun because it usually with God Wars, you're like in and out and like very little time. But we were camped at, to black out the board, we actually got the Zammy hilt last. And I think our last 4 tiles was all 4 hilts because we just, I don't know, didn't go for them.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, and I know my teams, we were in and out God Wars in one day. We finished all the hilts, like just in and out. Very lucky.
Yep.
But that's just the way it goes. I thought generally it was a good tile, but I heard of some teams doing like, 10 10 hours, 9-10 hours of solo bandos for certain people, and then someone else pulls it.
Yes, that's always the one who's going hard for it. Usually isn't the one who gets it. It's the guy who comes in and snipes it with 1 KC.
Yeah.
But so, any other questions before we go into our experience or things you in the big picture talk about with bingos?
No, were you pretty? What did you overall think of the event? Were you happy with it?
I thought it was excellent. We got super lucky and we blacked out the board with 2 hours left. So I think honestly that's like perfect. Because when you guys blacked it out with a day left, I was just thinking like, man, we should have made it harder. But you guys got crazy lucky and we got crazy lucky too, but I was really happy with it. I had a great time.
You're right. The board was sat around like between 500 and 600 EHB to complete the board for 4 days. Seems to be right. So about 10 hours per day per person on the team. I'd say that's like kind of how we scale it, and that should get you close to blacking out, but not completely. You don't necessarily want teams to black out. I think it's ideal that you guys did it with like 2 hours left, because honestly, in the summer, we blacked it out with like 30 hours left or 24 hours. Kind of sucked because the last day we were having so much fun. We just wanted to keep going. So I think we err on the side of making it too hard rather than too easy. But it's something that we're still like, we're learning every bingo, and we're happy to try new things. As organizers. Just
think of something, one regret. So in the past, a bingo tile is like get the tourmaline core from GG's. Yeah. Very specific drop. And then what happens is someone gets the GG's pet, or someone gets the jar, or someone gets anything but that. And it feels kind of bad. You get something more rare or whatever. That's just bingo. But to combat this time, and to kind of lower the EHB per tile, we did any unique. So the tiles just say Chaos Fanatic unique, just says Volcano unique, Seracnus unique. The theory was that it'll be very straightforward what is and isn't a unique, right? For Cerberus, the Keymaster teleport is not a unique, right? It's got to be any stone. And then, or in the past, we did like Cerberus Crystal, and then someone gets a Smoldering Stone. They look similar, but it doesn't say crystal. So now everyone's asking, does this count? Obviously, yes, it should have counted. But nonetheless, in an effort to try to make things more intuitive, like just get a unique from here, I was bombarded with 90% jokes, but a lot of questions of, does this count? Does this count?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So when I wrote the rules, I actually started out listing for Shelbane Griffin, these items count. For Rexor, these items count. And it turned into like a 4-page document. And I was like, I'm gonna get clowned on if I show this to the boys. Like I'm just gonna Control A, delete it, and they're smart enough. I should have kept that document because it did sow some confusion. By being too open-ended, people actually don't like it. They like to know the rules.
The boundaries. People like the boundaries. Yeah, I think you're right, though. Because we ultimately did it because unique is quicker. And this was because we threw the board together last minute. We usually don't do this. But yeah, I think in the future, specific drops are way easier to manage as captains and sort of as like bingo admins. Also easier for players to know like what they have to get. So I think in the future, we stick with specific things.
Because there's things like Seracnus has the giant egg sac. If you include that, it cuts the EHB into an eighth of what it was. So we had to not include it. So there's all these fringe scenarios, special cases, that they're not fun for anyone. So moving forward, I'll have to keep that in mind. But we tried something new, and for the most part, it wasn't that bad. It was just like the first night, just a ton of questions, and a lot of them were valid, like Amoxicillin. I didn't say that if the necklace counted or not, but it shouldn't have, because it turns the tile into 0.5 EHB. It's just silly.
Yeah, so like next time we would just look to be like get all the two-handed weapons, Torag's hammers, Tomatli, sulfur blades, and the earth one. So that'd be a good tile. So you can work around with stuff, but on our next bingo, you'll definitely see that. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay, so that covers the big picture of bingo. So now we can kind of go into our own unique storylines, and I'm sure Poplo will share his next week. If you were on a team that wasn't Heartless or Eyes, let us know some of your favorite memories in the comments. But I was thinking Heartless, the way my memory works is like night by night, how each night proceeded.
Okay.
I don't know if you wanted to go through that or however your brain recalls. Just bingo from the start, as long as you want.
Yeah, yours is definitely crazier than mine, so we'll save yours for second. My team, I drafted a crazy strong team. I was very happy with every single member, all the way down to my 15th round picks like Sabopti and Scary Kurt. They grinded. Everyone on the team grinded. Friday night, we started off really quiet. I think I wasn't there like half the time. I had dinner. A bunch of people like Twinrova and a couple other people had like dinner plans. So we started off a little scattergunned. People were just going for the solo tiles. But when it came to Saturday, everyone was on. We were all in there. We were all grinding, and we made some crazy progress on the weekend. I don't really remember night by night, Hoyt, just because I played like all day, basically. Like night and day just all meld into one. But I know I sort of remember it by like tile chunk because we tended to like chunk the tiles up. We got all the solo stuff done first, and then we would do raids when people felt like it. And then we just grinded all the wilderness basically in one day, and then we grinded all of the hilts in one day, and then we went back to raiding. Yeah, I was very happy with everyone on the team, top to bottom. They all did great. We were generally quite lucky, though we had some unfortunate problems with the mega rare tile, which we'll get to. Yeah, one of the things that we had to do was, I guess, pulling the hilts was pretty ridiculous. We went extremely dry at Venenatis. There was at all times of the day, at least 3 of us killing Venenatis, and I was there for 8 hours. It was not fun. We needed
just to get any drop,
any unique, and because the way we scheduled the board is basically we weren't allowed to submit a dragon 2-hander because we'd already pulled one from Chaos Elemental, and Venenatis was just way quicker. So we needed anything: D-pick, gem, the upgrade to the crossbow, the fangs. That's what they're called. Pet, anything. And we didn't get anything for 8 hours. All we got was Dragon 2-handers. We got like 5 or 6 of them. Jesus. And then we all went to bed. We were like, yeah, we're done. We'll tackle it tomorrow. And then someone pulls it from Spindle. So hilarious to see. A Void Waker gem would have done. And I've done almost 2,500 Venenatis on my account now. Mostly from bingo, by the way. Low-key is one of my favorite bosses in the game, Hoyt. I don't know why. Something about it is so fun. Having the scout bot out, the shitty PKers who come to try and get you in their Moon Clan outfits. You know, the like tiki taka of running through the caves. Like, are we going south? Do you have an extra? You can set up an extra camera, like an alt at the south caves to see if people are logging in. Because sometimes what PKers do is they'll scout your world. They'll see you have a scout, so they know you're in there. Then they'll send someone really dog shit to go in and try to like poke you out. And then they'll log in all of the team in the south cave, and then they'll TB you and try and smite you and stuff in the south. So you can like juke them by going out different exits. It's fun. I like that cat and mouse part specifically with Venenatis and to some extent Callisto, but it's not as Venenatis is good. But as long as you don't get caught.
Yeah, it's my second favorite. I like it more than Bear, less than Vedion.
Okay. Bear is just fun because you can like send 10 people and just sit there all day. But yeah, I love Venenatis. Vedion is a little bit boring. And he can hands off the keyboard too. It's pretty cool. So
very chill.
Very good money. Insane for the red spider's eggs for the account. Yeah, insane. So
I just hate when you do tank the webs and you're walking, you got no run energy, and then it takes your prayer. It's like it feels bad.
You gotta bring a couple stands for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Venenatis was generally really fun. I love doing Wilderness. I love Void Waker tile. I think it's such a fun collaborative tile. And if there's people who hate the Wilderness, they can just kind of skip out on it. Overall, though, that tends to be one of my favorite tiles in the bingo. It's also quite challenging, which makes it fun to go. Challenging, but also doable, which makes it sort of like that sweet spot for difficult tiles.
Yeah, the Voidwaker tile on bingos is like, if you're going for that, you plan on blacking out because it is all or nothing. If you get 2 out of 3 pieces, like, who cares? You don't get the points.
Yeah.
So
So we had a pretty dry Saturday. We didn't get as many tiles as we wanted. We got a couple purples. And then on Sunday, we just went nuclear. Like, everyone was pulling everything in the bingo, which was awesome to see. So we had all 4 hilts came through that day, all pulled by different people. You know, Vexty pulled one. I think Ginger got one. I got one. And Smooth Lou got one. So everyone was pulling. We had a dude that just played mobile. And he was an animal. Like, he just completed so many tiles. And the poor guy was sick all weekend. So it was cool to see. And then we were coming towards the end of the bingo. I think it was the last night. And the thumb and toe, the guy who plays mobile only, he had like a chewed bone. He had got one chewed bone, and he sent it, and he pulled the Dragonfall helm.
No way.
Yep, that night. And then we went to bed. Basically, we went to bed on Saturday night with only 3 tiles to go. Mega rare, 1 full helm, and Volcano. And then in the morning when we woke up, our Estonian raider, we had a guy from Estonia on our team. He was awesome. He pulled the Justy full helm. So then all we had left was Volcano Mega Rare, and it was like 7 a.m. on Monday. So we had all day to complete them. And we pulled the Volcano Unique at like 9 a.m. for me. So then we had like 14 hours or 15 hours to get a Mega Rare. And we just sent raids all day, chambers all day, scaled CMs all day. One of our members sent just solos all day, 20-minute solos all day. And I pulled 3 arcanes and a dex that day, and we pulled all sorts of other stuff, but no, not the right purple. Unlucky. Yeah, we were quite disappointed. We were mostly we thought we were still like had a chance to win, but then you guys obviously had blacked out just before the end. We were definitely in it, but our team was just so disappointed because it was just like scroll, dragon claws, just like things that weren't mega rares. So
classic.
It's too bad, but overall it was a great bingo, and I had a lot of fun. What about you?
What drops did you get?
Ooh.
And were any of them new for you?
I got a Bando's Hilt. That was like the only significant drop I got for the team. Obviously, I pulled purples, but it was past getting this. We had this tile that was get 7 purples, and by the time I got online, we were well past that. And it weren't really new. I got 2 twisted kits, which was pretty sweet. So they're 1 in 75 out of CMs, and that recolors your ancestral. So I had one of them, and I was at 300 KC, so I was like ultra dry for the other 2. And then I pulled 2 in like 5 raids. So I'm done now.
Hell yeah.
Which is pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
So I'm very happy about that.
GZ.
Yeah. Not a tile, but that's okay.
Achievement.
That's okay. So I got the
dude. The cosmetics are just as big as the actual upgrades in my mind. In my mind.
Yeah, getting those 2 kits was like on my list of things to power out this year.
Yes, that's awesome.
So I'm happy about that. But that's pretty much it. Nothing significant for the account, I would say. At this point, I mean, there's not many significant things to get left for me. So, but I just love bingo because like going back and getting to like redo some of this content. In like this team capacity is always great, but you've got probably the most insane RuneScape story I've ever heard. So I can't wait to hear you tell it. And I was also hopped into your voice chat, so I heard firsthand about some of it. So off you go.
So this started on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So we got our first drop 12 minutes in. So we were rolling, and 30 minutes in, we get the Jar of Venom. Okay, and the jar was a tile, and the Jar of Venom is like not a fast one to get. So that was huge momentum because we were just instantly like rolling. Very hard to go chase a jar drop. The fastest one is Thermi. It's like 11 hours on rate. And then right after that, while we're trying to figure out, obviously, we use the Araxor drop for the jar, not the Araxor tile. As we're like talking through that, he pulls Araxite heads, so we're done with that. And then we get a bunch of little drops, including myself. I got the Smoke Battle Staff was a new unique for me, so that was cool just to go on the bank with the other staffs. I like collecting those. And then at 9 p.m., so three hours after the start, we had 6 people who wanted to top. And they're like, well, let's do 2 groups of 3 because we can't do a 6-man, of course. So they both start. One starts like 10 minutes before the other. The first trio, their very first tob, they get a purple. We're like, holy shit. All right, well, purple's a tile. Maybe it's a Justy helm because we had to get a full helm tile. They go up to it. It's a Scythe.
That's
the very first one.
Crazy. That's insane, okay. First of all.
The very first raid for just a 3-man tob. Meanwhile, the other raid is freaking out. We're all in voice together, and they're like 8 minutes behind. So they finish Verzik, and they go into their chest room, and it's a purple.
Oh, jeez, you guys know where this is going.
So we're like, holy shit, dude. We got 2 purples on the first 2 raids at Tob. They open it, and it's another Scythe.
That's actually insane, Hoyt.
2 JZ and bombs both got a Scythe.
2 raids, 2 Scythes.
So 2 raids, 2 Scythes. What's the rate for Scythe from a purple chest?
1 in 19.
19.
So it's like a 1 in...
I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah, it's absolutely outrageous.
That's nuts. Okay, so 2 1 in 19s, not to mention the 1 in 9 or whatever to get a purple. Just insane. 10 minutes apart. It was 9:34 and then 9:52 we get the second Scythe. Okay. And then
the chat must have been popping off at this point.
Our morale was at an all-time high. I mean, as you can imagine, this is like a never before seen thing. So we pumped it through the whole night. This was Friday night. We get like Jupiter Jugs and Suffix, just knock out all the master clues. We're going through them. We're getting all the small tiles, and then I stayed up till like 7 a.m. at KQ. So I spent 13 hours just doing Thermi into KQ, and I got the Dragon Chain.
Huge.
Nobody wanted to do KQ. I needed a Dragon Chain for my Master Clues, and I like KQ because I'm weird.
I like it too. It's okay. I did about 100 and didn't pull anything, so I feel you.
Yeah. So that was it for me. So that's Saturday morning. I go to sleep, very little sleep. I wake up and they knocked out a bunch. I'm scrolling through here and okay, at 12 o'clock on Saturday, we get our first Yama unique. And it's the Oathplate helm. And a full helm was one of the tiles. So again, we're
one of the those because you guys can't really see if you were in the bingo. One of the tiles was get 3 unique full helms, and they couldn't be like loot scroll ones. So they were all the hard ones like Dragon full helm, Oathplate, Justy, Serp. Yeah, so they're all tough.
Yeah, Inquisitors, Justy, yeah, very difficult. And you guys know if you play RuneScape, targeting any unique anywhere is really hard.
Yeah,
really hard. So the first Yama unique we get is Oathplate. So we're just ecstatic. We then get, let's see here. I'm going through, make sure I don't miss anything here. Oh, I almost forgot this. The team goes to Nex, okay? The first unique they get is a Torva full helm. Another full helm.
It's crazy. Done the tile now.
I think that's 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
Just nuts.
Easy ones to go.
But we still need something at Nex, because if we use the Torva full helm for the full helm tile, we can't use it for the next unique tile. So they stay there, and let me see what the time difference is for 10. This other guy just wait. 1 minute later, the very next KC, the other guy in the group, Mr. Pawman, pulls the Nextling.
No way. Back to back.
Torva full helm into Nextling. Back to back.
That's crazy. You guys' luck has been out of control.
Insane. So that was Suffix with the full helm. Pawman got the Nextling. Okay. And it's now, this is the night of Saturday. And we had the last round pick was Mr. Forget It. He's only last round because he's got a newer account. Group Ironman just didn't have much EHB. Almost didn't play.
PM'd me to not
Yeah.
play, and I said, nah, just play anyway, even if you can play like 1 hour a day. It's fine.
Really? That's awesome.
Oh, you didn't know this? Yeah, he PM'd me. He said, no, I can't play. I'm too busy. Because he was going to play a lot, and then he couldn't. I was like, whatever, just sign up. You'll be picked last round. They'll throw you on a team. You'll get some hours in.
That's amazing. No, I did know, because we were getting late in the draft, and I knew his name because he talks a lot in the Discord, and I like that. That tells me you're active, and and no one likes like someone on the team who just doesn't speak at all. You just don't know what's going on. Communication's key. So I was like, cool. Looking forward to meeting this guy. So he asks if someone will take him on a learner raid, and it's Saturday night. They're like, yeah, hop on in here. Let's do a learner tob. Just a 1 KC. He had done 1 entry mode for Quest Cape, and that was it. They go to the chest room. He gets a purple in his name.
He's died twice, by the way.
He died twice. Yeah, he died at where was it?
It doesn't matter. He died twice.
Yeah,
Verzik,
I know one was
probably.
Zarpus, I think.
Yeah.
Verzik and Zarpus. Anyways, he gets a purple in his name, and it's a Scythe, 1 KC Scythe.
It's actually, it's a generational tear that your team went on this weekend. You just can't make it up.
Insane. Here's the picture, Mr. Foget it. The green helm, 1 KC Scythe. I mean, just nuts. I think he put it on Behe and Reddit and stuff, but so he had to come up with some creative ways to split the boys out for their work because he wasn't expecting that one. But
that's the dream.
Everyone
honestly.
was just so happy.
It's
for
the
him.
Dream. It's
1
the dream.
KC Mega Rare. Just so I saw him. He did another KC today or last night and got a vial of blood collection log, and everyone's like, "Oh, you can use the site now."
Oh, that's funny.
So,
that's funny.
We actually put him on Sarachnis duty, using it uncharged. So he's just using the uncharged scythe all weekend because what can you do?
That's crazy.
So,
well, congrats. That's the dream. 1 KC Mega Rare.
Absolutely insane. I then personally spent Saturday? I think it was Saturday before this or something. I spent all day at Shellbang Griffin. I mean, I did like 240 KC.
It's absolute sleeper content. It sucks.
I'd love it because it was so chill, but it's pure sleeper content.
It's chill, but it's like it's so sleeper. And there's no good drops. There's garbage drops too.
No, just some rune cannonballs.
It's too bad.
But I did a ton of that. Did not get the drop. I was thankful though that Tom grabbed it because I didn't want to go hunt for another task. So after that, the boys. Oh, Chet on the final on Sunday, he got a vestige. He finished his GT2 rings. I think the last one was Leviathan, maybe. No, it was from Whisper, which is the Bellator, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he got Bellator, and then he went on to get like 3 more ring drops. So he got 4 ring rolls in one day.
That's crazy.
He popped off on that, and then outside of that, I think.
Then you guys woke up with just hilts to get right on the last day.
Pretty much, yeah. It was hilt, unsired. We had like 2 or 3 guys just spending all day at unsired. I went in there, literally 5 KC, grabbed one. So
and this is the best part of bingo is like, a hero like Hoyt can come along and you can save people from their pain.
They're mad but happy because they wanted
honestly
the glory.
I'm just always happy to get out of somewhere.
Oh, okay. So then Monday is coming, right? And I have to work. I didn't have Monday off. I work from home though, so I could maybe AFK something in my free time. So I stay up Sunday night late getting a double Kraken task because like storing one and keeping a Kraken task because it's the fastest jar to get. So while I'm Monday at work, I pull the jar of dirt, dude. And that's when we knew we were going to finish the board. I think that was like the moment. Maybe I'm being selfish though, but that blew my mind because it's like 11 hours to get it on raid. And I was like the only one doing it at the time. All the jars are really daunting. So
it's crazy to think
12.
at that point our team was still like technically could have beat you guys with one singular drop.
Yeah.
Even after
absolutely.
all that luck. Outrageous.
In the final hours, it ended at midnight. Okay, so at 6 p.m. we get the Sarah Hilt. At 7 p.m. we get the Bandos, and then we get Krill, and I guess we already had Arma. We finished at 10 p.m. So yeah, we got 3 hilts and 4 hours, and we blacked the board out.
It's very impressive, Hoyt. Very impressive from the team.
I don't know if it's impressive. It's just lucky, and the boys really showed up. I think the first night morale was just the double scythe morale. Everyone was locked in from then on.
Yeah, it's hard not to be. It's hard not to be.
Whereas if you get lucky at the end, like it's already too late for any morale to matter.
True.
But
true.
It was nice. Just get the drops, lol. So it's good. Get to pocket a little 80 mil.
Nicely done.
And yeah. I do. Up next, we have. Were there any running jokes on your team? Mine had. We had a fixation on. Oh God, they're gonna kill me for forgetting his name. Dobby. Dobby the house elf,
the one from Harry
Potter.
Yeah. How did he make an appearance during a RuneScape Christmas bingo?
I think it was something to do with finding a sock, and it was something on that train. But we just got it's like on a sleepover when you're a little kid and you just get fixated on a stupid joke. So that suddenly became our team thing. So I know Mima.
Yeah, I know Mima.
He did not enjoy the joke as much as we did, so we kind of tortured him. He's like the dad who doesn't like the joke. It's weird. We were like the little kids with too much sugar. We were like, Dobby, Dobby, Dobby.
Oh God.
So
you guys are
we
crazy.
were just saying all sorts of wild stuff that shouldn't be repeated. But that was our team running joke. For some reason, that just gave us fuel with our sleep-deprived brains. So there's lots of impersonations of his voice, quite a lot of them. But is there any funny running jokes with your team? Any mascots?
No, not really. We kept it pretty clean this time. We went straight for the W. We were a bunch of serious gamers. And we did have a lot of laughs and fun, but yeah, with there being a couple of ill members, they had to mute up a fair bit. And besides just being pissed off constantly at Venenatis and not getting wilderness drops, we had just a generally good time, I would say. But yeah, no Dobby based stuff. No, we didn't rip the Lord. I pull Lord of the Rings out, but this time we didn't do Lord of the Rings. I know one of the other teams turned all of their Discord pictures into Christmas anime girls. So I tried to get the Christmas anime boys going, but the team was not having it. They were not having it. They're not having any of it. I tried to say like, look, come on, let's go. So get some 6-pack lads with Santa hats on. Nope, they weren't having. They were not having any of it. So sadly, the dream wasn't realized. But okay, there's always another time.
We did all change ours into Dobby. Sometimes hand-drawn art.
Nice. That sounds wonderful.
And then I learned that the server, you can do Discord server profiles only if you're Nitro, though.
Okay.
So I'm not Nitro anymore, so all my real-life friends probably saw Dobby for the weekend. We're wondering what was going on over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, usually movies are the play to keep everyone locked in and entertained. But if you guys are already amped up and going, a movie's going to put you to sleep, so... We didn't watch any movies.
Usually you save the movies for the darkest times, like when you're 10 hours deep at Callisto or 12 hours deep at Volcano. Yeah.
Yes.
That's definitely the move. But overall, fun bingo. I'm glad you guys had that insane luck and that you had a lot of fun. And I'm excited to see what Poplo's experience was like as a first time captain as well. So, great.
No, we did get lucky at Volcano as well. I know when we came in last, I think this was maybe this was second to last 2 bingos ago. We, I kid you not, spent 10 hours at Volcano with like 4 or 5 of us, and it was the darkest I've ever spent. That tile is wicked hard to get. It's like 33 EHB. You can divide it by your team size, but if you go 4 times rate, like you're toast. So
yeah, it's
we
a
were
tough
in and out
one.
in like an hour.
I know we
nice.
say we don't like doing skilling tiles, but we typically do skilling RNG tiles, like Guardians of the Rim minigame based stuff. Basically, it's like the only
Pharaoh
stuff that we usually
Scepter,
put on.
Crab,
So Pharaoh Scepter, yeah, like
Tench.
the dies or the lantern or something from Goater if you want to be horrible. But yeah, generally, Volcano is always tough, but I enjoy it though. I like getting it done. And it's a little easier now that the mass world exists, so you can just like rip the pet. I think it's a little quicker than it used to be.
Yeah. Okay, so I got 3 more questions here, and then we'll wrap up bingo. What are your favorite tiles? What are the ones you hope to see maybe on the next one? If you had your way.
Already mentioned God Wars Dungeon / Voidwaker, the big bosses. I think they're always fun to do in groups. You know, hopping around with your friends. If you're mains, if you're an iron, you can like go in solo. And the same goes with the wildy bosses. I think it's really fun to be out there, bring some team camaraderie. And I always enjoy doing those 2 tiles. What about you, Hoyt? What are your favorites?
Yeah, so going back to philosophy, like a lot of people play bingo because they want to raid. Here's the thing. I can raid anytime. You know, given that nice people who want to carry me are on, but generally on any given night, if I try hard enough, I can raid. But what I like to do on bingos is tiles I never would have the excuse to go for. So KQ, I already have my elite diary. If you hop in Discord and see me doing KQ, you're going to say, Hoy, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing that? So I like to go for tiles I would never otherwise do. Like Barrows is good. KQ, Thermi, I would never do again, right? I just do Smoke Devils. So
100%. That makes sense.
That's the way I look at it. So with that being said, I mean, I would love to have an excuse to go do some masochistic aerial fishing or just any collection logs I don't have and don't have an excuse to go for without getting ragged. And ragging myself, because I would beat myself up if I spent all week on a fish sack. But if I go do a little bit every bingo, it feels a lot better because I'm helping my team and stuff. So that's why I think bingos are magical, is you have an excuse to go for things you wouldn't otherwise go for. Mm-hmm. So anything like that. But yeah, that's mine. I'd like to go back. I learned Sarah this time. Really rough on bad internet to do like the tick perfect like pattern with walking and
you don't need to do that
whatever
anymore though, since the agility changes.
Yeah, you don't need to. I was still trying it, but
it's not working.
I was getting the hang of it, but still with lag spikes, I like get stuck, and then the unicorn comes and whacks me. And
that unicorn is a right bastard. Worst of all the God Wars Dungeon minions by far. It gets you 15s every time. Every time.
So I'd like to go back and do that. I was getting in kind of a trance and a groove. I want to get SGS, would be cool one day. But again, I don't have an excuse. You don't need it for Colo. You don't need it for
it's really nice
Slayer,
though. I would definitely get it
really
before
nice.
doing I would definitely get it before doing Coliseum if I were you.
Okay. Yeah, and I need an ACB one day for Nihil Horn.
It's a grind you're going to want to do. So. It's definitely worth it.
So I'd look forward to that. So that would be me. What's one tile we didn't have that you'd like to see back? Is there any that come to your mind? Something that was missing on this board? Maybe some Guardians of the Rift for you?
I think maybe more a couple of like clue variety. We don't. It was only master clues this time, which is
Did you guys do those quickly?
Yeah, we got them done. We had quite a few mains who were like grinding them. I thought they were a good addition, and it was like the right level of challenge, and you didn't feel bad about going to do some master clues. I think having a little bit more variety on the clues next time would be great, but obviously we were kind of shoehorned into certain things being on the board, like 1 mega rare, 1 or like 11 master clues. It had to be a specific number of things. So because of the theme, we were shoehorned in, but on a more general bingo, I think I'd add a bit more clue variety. And
the
like
last
I said,
bingo we did too many clues, and we got a lot of complaints.
Yeah, so I think we want to go somewhere in between, where it's not where it's either like a bunch of like a specific master unique and a specific easy clue unique, and then skip the rest and just like switch up which clue we do each bingo. I think that would be fun. But yeah, I love easy clues, to be honest. I think they're really chill. They're fun for anyone to do, really. So I probably will put that back on the next board.
Yeah.
Like a ham joint or like flared trousers or, gold, not golden monk's robes, but like, gold black wizard or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll get him back in there.
Okay.
What about you, Hoyt?
One time we didn't have that like back golden tench, baby.
Oh God. Don't make me go. Don't make me go there. Don't make me do it.
Just draft
you know what?
me
I'll say this about certain things. It's nice to have a couple mobileable tiles.
Yeah,
so like tench is mobileable. There's a couple other tiles that are like doable on mobile. I think that's important that you have a little bit of variety. Obviously, this was PVM heavy because it was 3 days, but
yeah, we did skip that in the philosophy talk, but we used to have AFK tiles like, I don't know, the Blood Shard is a classic one. What other AFK tiles we used to do all the time?
It was like Dragon Limbs. We usually throw a couple of them in there, but not tons of them. We usually more like...
The problem is they become guaranteed, and then it's just a matter of... When things are guaranteed, it doesn't seem like the fitting of bingo. It's just like...
Yeah, but you want people to also have like enough... Though. You want people to be able to actually contribute, so this is like a fine line.
Yeah.
But overall...
I'm in support. I'm a big AFK guy, but they're hard to do right.
Yeah, so. And XP is not the answer.
No.
Okay. Yeah, speaking of tiles that we didn't like, Hoyt, was there any you didn't like this time? Or were you pretty happy with everything?
I mean, we got pretty damn lucky, so it's hard to say. I don't like any tiles that are too easy, so I think like Amoxiclatel, being really, really fast. I don't know, what other ones were like one... the metal sheet from a frost dragon was our first tile. It took 12 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So
again,
anything issues, less than one EHB is probably shouldn't be on there. But
yeah, and I would say at the other end. I mean, this is gonna sound salty, but I'm honestly happy you won, Hoyt. But I do think Mega Rare is a little bit too much RNG.
It is too much
because you can grind for it, and like Lord knows, I think we absolutely degenerate rated. I think we got 15 purples by the end of the bingo, which was double what we needed. But even given that, we barely hit the rate to see a Mega Rare. So
yeah, that was my fear.
It's hard to actively win. It's hard to actively work towards, and while it wasn't an instant win, the teams that had the Mega Rare early definitely had a massive advantage.
Yep.
So I think in the future, I would consider it maybe on a board that had other equivalently challenging like corner tiles, but it's probably a little bit too generically hard. Yeah, whereas like so for people out there, we usually calculate based on like EHB or like efficient hours bossed. So if a Mega Rare is like about 100 hours, like that's a lot of time even for a team of 15 to put in, even if they're grinding like super well and they're all good raiders. Whereas like something like the Oathplate Helm or the Justy Helm is like quite a lot less hours, so it's still incredibly hard to get, but it's manageable. But going over rate on a Mega Rare, you're not gonna get one. You could raid all weekend, the whole team raid all weekend and not pull a Mega Rare in theory.
Yep.
So I think that's one that I would consider maybe switching, but obviously for the theme of the bingo, it fits, so it had to be done.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world, if there's a team that gets everything but the Mega Rare, and then there's a team who gets a Mega Rare but they're missing a bunch of other tiles, the team who gets everything but the Mega Rare should win. But in this case, it was a blacked out board versus just missing one tile.
Yeah, so it's not a huge deal. And like I said, theme wise, it was shoehorned, but yeah, it's one I would consider.
Yeah, it's just cutting next time. Way too out of your hands.
Exactly.
On the RNG scale. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. All right, and then last question. What's the most brutal bingo grind you've done or seen someone do? besides your Venenatis one you just did.
Yeah, that one wasn't even that bad. I think so. About 3 years ago or so, I was in a bingo. I can't remember which team it was, but I think God of Thunder was on my team. Maybe a couple other people. Accelerate, I seem to remember. Just some boys, but regardless, the point being, you might have been on this team, Hoyt. I think we did 2,800 Seracnus to get a cudgel. 2,800.
Oh my God, I remember Matt. I remember Dormat doing like 1,000 KC or something the first time I met him.
He was like a new Ironman at the time, and he was killing with a D Mace. I remember pulling it because I barely did any KC, and everyone was like, "Thank God!" We had like 2-man teams going. Everyone was streaming Seracnus. We did it all day, closing in on 3,000 KC, which is 10 times the drop rate. I think we got it at 9x.
God almighty.
Yeah, that's the worst I've seen. Seracnus cudgel. What about you? What's the worst one you've seen?
I already shared this one, but the Zolcano 10-hour session was
that's complete ass.
kidding.
Yeah. Not
and
even
then
fun.
The one that comes to my mind is Toast or Cheese doing 151 Corp on an Ironman. I have, it's, what is it, like 8 to 10 EHB or kills per hour for Ironman. So he did 15 hours of Corp, and I don't think he got anything.
Crazy.
So
you hate to see it.
That's just one that always sticks out to me. That was 2020. That was a year ago. Okay, yeah, that was the 2 bingos ago. That one's just always like legend status in my head. So, it says on this Hall of Fame I'm looking at, you did 37 Tob that bingo. So,
oh my God, yeah, I tend to be an extreme degenerate on bingo and usually get top 5 for hours played.
Yeah,
I just go very hard. You clean the house, buy my wife some flowers, and move on. Fiance, excuse me. Oh, you gotta get those pre-bingo flowers in. It's key. Do a little meal prep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a big move.
Go to the gym the night before, and then boom, you're ready to go.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Do you remember what your first ever bingo tile was?
No, I remember we organized one in this very Discord years and years ago, and it was just a 5x5. And I remember because I was going for my blowpipe at the time, or I had just gotten it. We called our team the Tanzanite Fang. It's still one of my favorite bingo team names. It sounds like
not the Scytheless Bees.
No, the Scytheless Bees was pretty good, but yeah, the Tanzanite Fang, that was a good. Sound like a gang, back alley gang. But yeah, that was a really fun bingo. But it was we completed it fairly quickly. But
yeah.
But good memories. Always make lots of new friends from bingos, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't played one. So,
yeah, my first tile was it was the Pharaoh's Scepter, and I got to really spend like 2 hours of trying on like a 1,200 total on this account, and I was addicted to bingo ever since.
Yeah.
So
great vibes.
You could also be forget it and get the frickin' mega rare on 1KC. So definitely sign up next time we're offering one. Hopefully, in a couple of months, probably summer bingo.
Maybe spring. We do always do a summer. We usually do a spring and a fall. We usually do summer and winter because TNL does spring and fall. So we try to like balance out with them because we know we have.
Yeah, our winter one was like late last year. I think it was like
and they did a winter one this time, but we were just like, we'll just throw a winter one out there. I think we might still do a spring one, but maybe spring break or something. We probably won't even advertise on the pod. We usually don't anyways. So just make sure you're in the Discord if you're interested in being involved in those. Turn
on the events channel notifications. Make sure you're in the next one. All right. Let's see here. Shall we do our 2 Q&A questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about with bingo, or are we good?
Nah, we're good.
Okay. All right. So we have 2 questions this week. The very first one, we'll start with Dart41. He asked us, you are tasked with creating a new skilling minigame for any skill. Can be a multi-skill activity or just a single skill. What would the minigame be, and what would the XP rate be?
Oh, big Hoyt. Oh, you know that
I didn't
Dart
write it, I
41
swear.
is Dart 41, our new patron, or I guess he's been a patron for a while. This is the guy who pulled the Scythe, by the way, 1KC.
No, that was Forget It. Is that Dart?
This is Dart 41. This is his Discord name. Same
Oh,
guy.
I didn't know that. Hell yeah. Okay.
So,
Sweet.
anyways, join the patron if you want 1KC.
Yeah,
Scythe
if you want a
luck.
1KC Scythe. Yeah.
Just come and join us just for your first top KC, and then you can leave if you want, but get that pure RNG. This is a great question. Hoyt, you're like the minigame king, so I got a little something to run by you. You ready?
Please do.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I've been thinking about this question all day, and this is what I've come up with. I'm no designer, but it's bare bones. Here we go. It's a mining minigame, Hoyt. Mining based.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so you know
Is
how
it a shooting star? Because I'll kill you.
Yeah, so you click on the rock, and then
No.
and then you come back to your computer 25 minutes later, and you've gained 40.
And you're 99.
Yeah, you've gained 95,000 mining experience.
Oh, no.
No, that would be the dream, but we're not allowed to do that. So this is a mining minigame, and it's a battlefield-based minigame. So you know how there's that big-ass battlefield? It's like Khazard versus gnomes.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
just
yeah.
like
by
constantly
ZMI.
fighting and killing each other. So I'm thinking it's something like that. And it could be on an island. It doesn't need to be gnomes versus Khazard. It could be like ghost warriors versus like regenerating ghost warriors or whatever. It doesn't matter what the two factions are. But basically, you're put into helping one of the factions gear up all their soldiers. So you can gear them up with different gear based on your mining level. So
Okay.
maybe you start at level 50 and then 70 and 85 or something. And you go to the different piles. You go to these massive piles that are on like the far side of that. And you run over there, you mine a bunch of the special ore. You come back and you smelt it and you make different level equipment based on, mining and smithing level. So it could be a combined mini game. But I'm thinking, because Guardians of the Rift is a pretty decent mini game, at least as far as supplies go. So I'm thinking, in addition to mining like those special materials you need to make the bars, you're getting a bunch of like ores that actually matter for your account. So like rune and addy and coal and stuff like that. And you're sticking them all into this cart, which you can dunk in the bank when you get closer to like the smelting area. I'm thinking basically running to this massive pile of stuff you're mining, you're coming back, you're depositing any ores you've got into your bank, and you're keeping the minigame related ones, and you're smelting different types of weapons. You're gearing up the gnomes or whatever, the eternal warriors, and then you're going back and you just rinse and repeat. Something pretty simple, like simple game loop like that.
I like it.
And then, the more gear you give, or like the higher tier gear, you get like points, and then at the end you get to like pull out of this giant pit some rewards. And I think that's the key. So it's like Wintertodd, Temperos, Guardians of the Rift style reward system where you get points and then you can get uniques. So
Yeah.
Pet of some kind could be another mining minigame pet. Could be like a tiny little gnome following you or something. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I haven't thought this far ahead, but I
Or
have
even
thought
just
about
a transmog of the
I've-
mining pet.
Yes, that could be fine too. I've thought about the next two things, 3 rewards though. I think mining, one of the problems that we've talked about in the past is that skilling isn't worth doing because PVM gives you all the materials you ever need for skilling. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah.
Even on an Iron Man. Like there's basically very little skilling that's worth doing. You never really fish your own food, you just get it from PVM besides Cameron Bonds.
Yep.
You never really what else? A bunch of your crafting materials. You never collect it yourself because
Pure essence.
you get your gems, your pure essence. You don't need to gather yourself. Ores you don't need to gather yourself. You just get gold ore from bosses. So I'm thinking we need to accelerate the rate at which you gain materials from skilling. So there could be how we have the Rada's Blessing for fishing? So it gives you an 8% chance to catch an extra fish with no experience.
Yeah.
We have that for mining in that you have the chest plate, but I think if we gave something else, maybe in the ammo slot to like stack on top, it could just make amethyst more AFK. It could make, getting extra rune ore more AFK. So if you actually hard power mining, it's helpful.
Yeah.
So it could just be a Rada's Blessing version for mining. Also, you have nature offerings for wood cutting. So if you want logs, you bring them with you. They give you 50% extra chance to get an extra log. Same thing. We should do that for mining.
Yeah.
A consumable. Comes from this mini game. And then third, I think honestly we're not in desperate need, but we could certainly use with a dragon pickaxe upgrade now. The crystal pickaxe is obviously an upgrade. It's like 10% better, but it's so fucking hard to get. It's so hard to get. Hoyt, I know you have one. It's so rare.
Yeah,
you have to get MVP.
Yeah, 2 of them.
You have to get MVP, and it takes hours and hours and hours to get from his volcano. Like, it's ultra rare. Most people won't get one. I think we could do with a dragon pickaxe upgrade. It could be something you attach.
I also think you should be able to just use 1,000 shards.
Sure.
Like,
to crystallize your thing. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But even so, I think we can make one that's even stronger than the crystal pickaxe. I think that would be fine. Okay. It doesn't need to be XP wise better, but just gathering more resources would be great. Like, what if it gave you a, dude, I don't know, 20% chance to roll an extra ore for free? Who knows? Could be something like that. Or it could just be like that it gives you, it just mines the rocks faster. Could even be 10%. It doesn't need to be massive. Obviously needs to be better than the crystal one. But I think we're ready for something upgraded. It's pretty bare bones, but that's my idea. I think mining needs something. XP rates, I'm thinking 80k an hour.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm thinking, we have volcanic mine. I don't know if you've done any, but I've done quite a bit. You can get like 100k an hour, but you need an actually good team of like 4 people to do it.
Yeah. I've done it, but I have not done like a proper team besides like once.
There was like 2 weeks where my friends were into volcanic mine, so we sent it. And it's pretty fun, and there's like specific roles you have to do, but it's like a baby raid. It requires coordination, and it's not something you can really do with like general.
It's like
randoms.
BA.
Yeah, it's like BA. Basically, you could do it with randoms, but you're going to be way worse than with a even slightly coordinated team. So that's my idea behind mining. What's your thoughts, Hoyt?
I like it. So I had 2. The first one in 2008, in November they released Stealing Creation. Did you ever hear about this?
No.
So it's basically your idea.
Oh, really?
And I played it back in the day, but it was a game where the skillers could be skillers, PKers could be PKers, but my memory's fuzzy, so if you're an RS3 player, feel free to comment what I get wrong here. But you go in naked, no inventory, and then you can, let's see here, you can, I had it pulled up. It's like you can do thieving or wood cutting or mining, any skilling activity. There's like 4 of them. And hunting, mining, wood cutting, and fishing. By doing this, you get sacred clay. So then you take the clay from these resource nodes and you go make armor and weapons for your team. So the PKers are waiting for the skillers to go get their armor and clay, kind of like CG. Okay, and then they make armor and clay based on their levels, and then the PKers take them to the other team's base. And I think you just kill the other team for like their gear and stuff like that, like points. But once you're done with this game, you get a reward, which is, what is it called? It's called, it's basically like crystal, I had to pull it up here. Reward points, stealing creation points. You can use them on the, basically on tools. So the tool for this is like a crystal tool, but it changes form after a random number of uses. So it's a harpoon, and then once you fish with it, it'll turn into a pickaxe eventually, and you gotta go use it. I wouldn't keep that, but again, it follows your logic with like getting a better version of crystal. So I think bring back Stealing Creation. People loved it. I mean, it was by like Soul Wars.
The only problem though is that Soul Wars was a huge flop. Because Soul Wars is basically like a little PvP mini game. And we've distilled it into the most efficient thing possible where no one attacks each other. You just go and kill, like one team kills 4 avatars, the other one kills 5. Everyone gets max points and you do this same thing. any mini game they release that has PvP will always boil down to this. People will just do it to get the max amount of points per hour. There will be no casual fighting like when we were 10 years old. So I think part of stealing creation could work, but the fighting part wouldn't, which is like, when I was thinking about my mini game is, yeah, you're right. It's actually kind of similar, but there's no PvP element. There could be a PvE element, but if so, people are just going to do whatever gives them the most points per hour.
Yeah, so maybe it's the stealing creation, but instead of PKing, you give it to the gnomes versus the turtles, or
whatever.
Spiritual warriors.
I think the gnomes and the turtles are on the
whatever.
same side, but yeah.
It should be God Wars themed would be cool.
Yeah. What if there was another layer to the God Wars dungeon that went down one more floor where everything was fighting and there was a bunch of skilling nodes and you had to gear up a specific faction and there was
you had to have protection.
You have to protect protection from the others, and there was like faction strengths. So some would be stronger than others, and you had to keep like a balance because if any one of them gets too strong, they'll overwhelm everyone.
Yeah.
And you have to like balance between gearing up, Zamorak versus Ceradome. And that could be, there's so many different directions they could go for this.
Yeah. And then my kind of organic idea was I like what they did with the Chasm of Fire Oathplate mining, where you can tick manip it with the sweaty rag, and then there's like a new version of smithing. And I know RS3, one of the best parts is actually that they redid the way smithing works, so it's like fun now. And when I was looking at my stat sheet, it's like what skills need the most love. It was fletching, but fletching just got a goated minigame, so they're good. But smithing just sticks out. Giant's Foundry is there.
I ignored smithing because it's such an eyesore. It's really bad. Yeah. It's in a bad place.
So my pitch would be ignore the Yama Oathplate thing. I'll bring that back in. But this would be like a sailing minigame. Sailing themed, but there's no sailing. It's for cannonballs. Okay. So it's already Iron Man coded, but normies can still sell it for good XP. It's the best source of cannonballs because we have a problem where unless you're buying myth cannonballs from the shop, the new method with the fairy ring and the forge is actually like, it's not AFK at all. It's not fun. And you get like 12 seconds of AFK. And the whole reason people used to like making cannonballs was they're really AFK. So this would be a minigame that makes cannonballs, gives you smithing XP, and then agility XP, because agility is still the second least common 99 after runecrafting and still needs a lot of love. So you get agility XP by like delivering cannonballs maybe, or you get to keep some, but some sort of smithing and agility hybrid. And it gives you a unique, which is a head slot for smithing, because the smith set is missing the head. You can do the clue item, the blacksmith helmet, but there's no head slot. So something like alchemy, where chance to keep your resources maybe would be cool. I don't know. I just know
that's really good. I like this adding agility in there. Another free reward slot, absolutely free, is combining the ice gloves and the goldsmith gauntlets. Easy.
Well, you can already do that.
How?
Oh, the goldsmith. I meant giant's gauntlets.
Goldsmith.
Yeah,
and
no, you're
ice
right.
gauntlets being put together would make
I cannot
Blast
believe
Furnace
they're
so
not.
much more chill. And like, there's no skill expression in switching your freaking gloves. Come on, Jagux.
I can't believe that they're not already combined.
That's free reward space right there.
Yes, totally agree. So I looked at the rates right now. Gold ore is 375k an hour. Honestly, like, because you have to buy the gold ore, it's so much less than that, but I won't talk about that. So 375 is the top. Giant's Foundry caps at 310 with rune items. Really efficient. So I think for something fair for this, maybe it has minimal maybe it has minimal input for resources, but I think 200k smithing, 45k agility.
Yes, I'm down for that.
And I just want it to be fun, like Mahogany Homes mixed with like a little bit of tick manip if you want it, or you can chill while you're
I think a lot of
collecting.
part of the fun is rewards too. Like pulling Temporos rewards, pulling Wintertod rewards, pulling Gardens of the Rift rewards. Those are like the best part of the mini game. Is like you're getting a little gamba at the end.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether it's for a pet or for, an outfit, like you said, the helmet slot, or combined gloves, or some kind of like usable reward. Anything like that is always helpful to have sort of like a gambles type system at the end, an RNG element to it.
Yeah, and then you get cannonballs so that Iron Men have like, because right now it's either mithril or nothing. Like no one's making rune cannonballs and using them. It would just be like,
you could buy myth cannonballs, by the way. Is that true?
Yeah, at Port Roberts. But the thing is, you're competing with every other Iron Man, so you got to wait for like server resets and try to get lucky.
How many do they stock? Like 1,000?
Thousands,
dude,
tons,
whoa.
like 30,000.
Did they stock the steel ones as well?
I don't know.
I would be super down for that, because like I think having access to I don't mind buying cannonballs even if they're like exorbitant prices, because I got money to burn.
8,000 myth, 10,000 iron and bronze.
No steel. Just throw some steel in there, Jagux. Let us use them. Can you use mithril cannonballs in your cannon, or no? Just steel?
No.
Oh.
No, just steel.
Come on, Jagux.
As far as I know.
Let us do it. Let us buy steel.
Yeah. But yeah, 8,000 per world.
Crazy.
But everybody else knows, so they're like usually so close to sold out. I don't know. But the meta is to go there and get like 30,000, and you're good to kill like great white sharks for a while.
Cool.
But yeah, that's my pitch. Thank you very much, Dart, or Forget It, for the submission. I like that one. All right. We have a second question here from the Maytag Man, who is a new member of the Patreon.
Yeah, what is your favorite home appliance? That's his question.
He's got a gun to your head.
Come on, Hoyt. What's the best home appliance? You tell us right now.
The best home appliance? The refrigerator.
Yeah, I think it's refrigerator
100%. You can get by on everything else.
Here's my lukewarm chicken, dude. It's been sitting out overnight. Can't wait to eat it. Yeah.
All right. He said, you are given the task to remove one skill from OSRS and replace it with a skill from RS3. What skill would you choose to remove, and what skill would you choose to replace it with? So real quick, I went through the RS3 skills that exist that we don't have, and a quick overview because I didn't really know. Summoning, these are in order by release. Summoning allows familiars to be summoned, or like pets with utility. Yes. So they can like carry, they can take your woodcutting logs, or they're like the pack yak, could bring you supplies at next, whatever. And then dungeoneering, they could also do damage. Dungeoneering, this was basically Corrupted Gauntlet, but as a skill, and much more layouts, different bosses, things like that. But it was relegated to one area. I think it still is, Daemonheim. Divination, gather the sacred divine energy and weave it into powerful portents, signs, and divine locations. So I think these are like League's power-ups. I'm not totally sure, but I think this would be like, 5% skilling XP, and you get to pick 4 of them to have active, things like that. Invention, this was like shamanism, I think. So disassemble items.
Oh, nice.
Shamanism, yeah. Disassemble items to break them into materials, and then combine those materials for cutting edge augmentations. So kind of like how you make the Ultar ring with different B rings. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, but with everything. And then Archaeology, uncover and repair artifacts, grants access to ancient summoning, invention, and relic powers. So this reminds me of like World of Warcraft had Archaeology, but I think you just go around the world and discover things like resource gathering, like mining, but you dig in the dirt. I don't know. Lastly, necromancy, a new form of combat. So instead of, mage, range, and melee, you have a fourth one, which is necromancy, which is like summoning, but basically your thralls, but a whole skill tree where you can cast the spells and summon things. So those are the 6 options. Heartless, did you have time to think about these and which one you like?
I did. I've never played RS3 ever, so I'm kind of just going on description or like if I think it would fit thematically into the world. You guys know my opinion on sailing. I think thematically it fits. Obviously, it has its problems, but it fits. It's fine. It fits in okay. I think the only one out of here that I think would go well is archaeology. It sounds like something that we could like expand the museum, use it as like a hub of archaeology, and they send you on like quests to do, gather
like DT2.
Like, yeah, like
that guy's a whole archaeologist.
Yeah, I would do some kind of archaeologist thing where there's like you could do it like hunter rumors, like there's different levels of archaeologist masters, and I'm totally just making up a skill now, and they send you to like certain sites, and you can like you got to pull a unique, and it's like 1 in 50, and out of pulling all these dirt things, you can go super dry or super quick. I don't know, something like that. I think archaeology would fit.
I'm shocked.
Really?
I thought you were going to say invention or maybe dungeoneering.
No.
But invention seems so PVM coded. Like,
dude, I'm happy with PVM. That's the thing is like old school is old school. I don't really want to change PVM. If they're going to change PVM, it should be with like items and new raids. I don't think they need to add anything like new power-ups or like a special attack bar. I think we're good. Like I'm pretty happy with the way the PVM works in this game. So I think it would be a skilling
invention
side.
Would be like, chance to do bleed damage with your scythe, and then everybody has to get that before you get to raid.
Yeah, I don't like it. That's the thing is like you don't want to force that on anyone.
Yeah.
What would I remove? That's the real part of this question. That's the really tough part of this question. Sorry, Hoyt, what would you add in first if you're gonna pull any of these?
I forgot there's 2 parts. So I agree with you on archaeology.
Okay.
I'll just say real quick, I think you could still add in a lot from archaeology and PVM, but you could be a lot more slow and controlled. So imagine at 93, you uncover an artifact that's the new best in slot spec, or the second best spec weapon. It's like an ancient dagger, I think there's no problem. But when you have invention, where the whole skill is about upgrading and breaking down things, I think it gets like Path of Exile level of like skill tree, like craziness.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, archaeology, you could be subtle. You could even just keep it mostly like focused on upgrading, skilling things. Like, you could get like an ancient axe that's better than the dragon axe. There's
some mid-game rapier, like we got with the Shellbank Griffin. But
yeah, you could add. There's lots of room for rewards. Yeah. However, what would I remove? Wait, agility. Take it up back, shoot it. No, to be honest, agility, I don't like agility. I don't think it fits very well in the game currently. But my actual answer, I'd probably personally choose agility because I hate it, but I guess it has like minor inclusions. I think fletching is a total dog shit skill. Yep. I love veil. Don't get me wrong. Love veil totems, but just put fletching into crafting. Combine them. They don't need to be separate skills. Crafting is fine. But yeah, fletching, stick it in there. Let us get 300k an hour, no requirement, crafting XP from Veil Totems, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And put another skill in like archaeology. Poplo, I'm glad he's not here because he would be just absolutely running his mouth at how much change we're bringing on here.
He would get invention for sure.
Yeah, he would. Actually, I think he likes PVM how it is. I'm curious to see what he would say, but yeah, agility or fletching could go. What do you think? What would you remove?
Mine, low-hanging fruit. I mean, it's got to be fire making, just because it's just...
Yeah, I guess there's not much to it. There's not much to it, hey?
But I initially thought of fletching first, so I think we're on the same page there.
Could you combine fire making with another skill? Like you could... Fletching, like you could easily see fletching and crafting be together, right? Like no problem.
Call woodcutting forestry, which is a controversial word, but...
You're right, though. Yeah. Forest
naturism, and then just
naturism.
It's just part of it, like camping. Call it camping, naturism.
Yeah, or you could call it like survivalist or something.
Yeah.
When it's
no
just
reason
wood cutting and fire making. I mean, I'd be down for that. I think that would work well. And then let us get 350k wood cutting per hour at Wintertod. Easy.
Yeah.
Oh, power creep, Hoyt. Power creep.
I'm curious to hear about the RS3 players in chat, and like, I feel like most RS3 players hate archaeology. I'm not sure though.
Here's the thing though, is like, I think we're coming at this from very much, we're old school boys.
We're very ignorant.
I have no idea what happens in RS3. This is simply based on what I know about archaeology, invention, divination in real life or other video games.
Yeah.
There's a way they could bring it into the game.
Divination sounds like archaeology too, like just discovering shit. I don't like having power-ups though.
No, I agree. I think it's stupid because then you have to like min-max your power-ups and it's like another thing like prayer to deal with. I think we're good. We're good.
Yep.
Dungeoneering, easy to add too. Like you could just add dungeons that you go through and, you know, like more corrupted gauntlet style stuff, but whatever. Like they kind of don't need a skill for that because they could just straight up add dungeons and call them raids or call them new bosses or slayer bosses or whatever. I don't think they need to add a skill for it. Same with summoning. Like we have thralls, we have like magic based things that we can add. We don't need summoning. So the only one here that really stands out to me is invention and archaeology. And you and I have already said invention's dumb. And necromancy, get out of here. I don't want to change the way we deal damage to stuff.
Yeah, that really broke RS3.
It broke RS3. It broke the game with like evolution of combat. I think they need to leave it as is. Skilling is fine, but not combat.
Yeah.
Anyways, fun question. They're not going to do it, but it would fit. So.
Yeah, these are banger questions. So thank you, boys, and I'm looking forward to next week. Make sure you guys keep dropping them in there. And if there's nothing else, we can head to the chest room. Are you good?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll see you right after this sound effect.
Welcome back. This is the chest room. My name's Heartless. We're going to run you through a little story today. So chest room is a segment where one of the hosts gets to surprise the other host with a game, a story, you know, a question, whatever it is, whatever we're feeling like for the day. And for today, well, I have a game ready. I have 2 games ready, but Poplo's not here and I need to see a Hoyt versus Poplo on these 2 games. So we're going to keep those on the back burner. And instead, I'm just going to tell you another D&D story.
Hell yeah.
Excited?
Yeah. Love D&D.
So D&D, big passion of mine. I'm a school teacher, as most people know. If you've listened to the podcast for a while, I teach grade 5, so we're in elementary school. We're going to always run a D&D club, usually on Fridays at lunch. It's nice because I typically have like a prep time before, so I can like go and get stuff ready for it. And we run like ultra basic campaigns. We're talking starter set. Wizards of the Coast were nice enough to send me a starter set. And it doesn't cost anything. I can print out like the pre-made characters. They came with these like cool graphics, so it shows like all their skills, but they're rather like simple to follow because D&D can be a complicated game, even 5th edition, which is pretty dumbed down compared to like 3.5 or the olden days. So they have everything they need on like these little flashcards, and it gives them like cool art. You know, it came with a bunch of dice. They generally have fun with like the role playing part of it. Except they're extremely stupid sometimes, but we'll get into that in a minute. But aren't all D&D players. And then I just DM for them, and we just, you know, I kind of bend the rules sometimes because, they're only 10. But last time I told a story about them like struggling to cross a river for 40 minutes. And this time, did I tell you about Klarg last time?
I don't think so.
Okay, I told you about the hats. So I got 2 stories this time. First of all was from the same group that struggled to cross the river. So as soon as they'd crossed the river, they like fought a bunch of goblins and they forced their way into this like goblin, like, I guess not like a village, but basically a little stronghold where they all lived, and they kept prisoners. They saved some prisoners. This took like several weeks to get through this dungeon. It was in the D&D, it was in the campaign that I had, but I obviously skipped certain things. You know, there's like a giant chasm that they crossed. They had lots of fun getting through. And then finally they make it to the boss room. And inside the boss room was this level 3 bugbear. Okay, it sounds like not very much, but they were only level 1 So, or maybe they were like, some of them were level 2. So it was very tough for them, and they barely knew combat. So they had a level 3 bugbear to fight with like a couple extra goblins in this giant open room with a fire pit in the middle. And he had there was tons of loot for them on the back wall as soon as they finished. So anyways, they scrapped their way through this fight. 3 of them died or were like knocked out to 1 HP. 3 of them were knocked out to 1 HP. And the boy who was playing a paladin rolled a natural 20 to finish Klarg off, chopped his head clean off.
Hell yeah.
And they celebrated so hard. Like they were screaming with excitement. I was like thinking, can I save these guys from this? Because they're all dying to Klarg. He's killing them one after another. He's just too strong for them. And then the boy crits, rolls a natural 20, finishes him off, chops his head clean off. They were so excited. I made it so that the other goblins ran away because they were so scared of the power.
He's going to remember that nat 20 when he's like 50 years old. He's going to tell his grandkids.
It was a great experience.
That's epic.
They loved the fight. And then I had a surprise for them. So they were gathering their loot. They got some, like, I gave them, some like +1 weapons and stuff, some like basic magic weapons. They really loved it. They're getting all these cool upgrades. They're stoked to have I was like describing their new shiny swords, some cloaks and stuff. And then one of them, I had hidden like some extra loot, Klarg's extra loot near the campfire. And one of them noticed with like a perception check, opened up the hinge, and inside was like this special drink. And then I literally pull out the drink because I had pre-made it during my prep before. And it was called Klarg's Elixir. So I had it in this big mason jar full of this like dark liquid. And the kids were like, oh my God. So I brought the real life aspect to it. And awesome. I was like, okay, you find this elixir. It's called Klarg's Elixir. What would you like to do with it? And they're like, what? They're just so confused. So they end up like they roll some checks, they roll some history checks, and they're like, basically they got down to, you're not sure what it is, but it smells pretty strong. Would you like to take a drink? And they all decide to take a drink. So they actually drink out of this stuff, and they loved it. It was basically swamp water. I just mixed a bunch of different pops together.
There you go.
And they drank it, and it just gave them like a +1 permanent constitution buff or something, because it made them strong like Klarg. And they were big fans of that. So that was
you gonna hit them with the -40 damage everywhere.
Honestly,
never drink mystery drinks.
Never drink mystery drinks, but in this case, it worked out for them.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was fun. Actually, the janitor at the school, he's a big D&D guy. He was the one who told me to do the IRL part, like bring a drink in or something for them to drink. And I had never thought of that before. It was a huge play. The kids were down for that. So that was that's awesome. Have you ever done anything like that in D&D? Like where you've like...
No, I've only done D&D through Discord, so I've never had that.
When I was a kid, like
awesome.
When I was a teenager, our DM used to like make maps and stuff. She would like soak them in coffee and draw on them with like an old pen.
That's badass.
I always think that's part of it is like really cool role playing, but it obviously takes a lot of work from the DM. So
that is really cool. Yeah.
That was one of our fun stories. So Klarg's Elixir. They kept asking for more Klarg's Elixir, by the way, for like every week for the rest of the year because they just wanted to drink more swamp water.
Should give their parents the recipe. It's just every soda mixed.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty fun. Okay, other story. This was a different group. This was my very first D&D group. It was 3 years ago now, maybe 4. It was a very rambunctious group of children. Hoyt. Very rambunctious, very silly, always joking around, and they were all like really good friends. And what did we do? There was a couple grade 4s, some kids that like, need a couple friendships, and there was these 3 grade 5s, and they were just absolutely mad. So we started off the campaign where they like show up on this. It was like an island, and there was a village, and basically the long and short of it was like it could go down into the Underdark if they wanted. Or like the ruler of the town was going to turn out to be like an ancient bronze dragon. There was a bunch of cool stuff. There was a monastery where the monks were all evil. There was a bunch of different avenues they could have gone down. But the first thing they do is they finally get up the hill. It takes them a few weeks to like get past the zombies, like basic encounters. And then boom, they show up at an inn, classic scenario. And they immediately start wanting to fight the bartender.
Oh,
Immediately want to start fighting the bartender.
Classic.
And I was like, guys, just don't do this. They're like, no, we want to fight him. So they start a fight. And then turns out I'm the bartender. I just made them super high level. One shots the girl that decided to pipe up and throw a fist. One shots her, puts her, kills her down, basically kills her with one hit. And they're like, oh, sorry. They apologize. And they're like, what are we going to do? So I just kind of on the spot of making it up. Okay, you got to go find a surgeon. So they go around town, they look around, they finally find a surgeon. The town was full of kobolds, obviously because of the dragon angle. And they find this sketchy kobold surgeon who takes basically their entire gold stack to go and fix her up because her rib cage is all broken. And I made out a little list, Hoyt, of what was going to happen. The surgeon was so sketchy. He was just going to roll a 20 and see what happens, basically, depending on the roll. Like, one would have been an absolutely brutal effect on her that would have, like, crippled her for some fights. But the surgeon rolled a natural 20. So
That's awesome.
I ended up giving her, like, resistance to fire or something, like 25%. Because she got scales infused. It was pretty fun.
Cyberpunk vibes.
Yeah, that was
she gets
really
like
good.
an upgrade.
That was a really good. It turned out I was like, what are these kids doing? They're just crazy. So it ended up being a pretty fun campaign. I think they ended up going down to the Underdark and then like discovering the dragon near the end of the campaign, which was pretty good. But yeah, man, I'm starting up next week with the new group of kids. I still haven't decided who's going to be in it. I have to like think about that this week and talk to the counselor and stuff. But
nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to run I usually just run one of the campaigns, like the two basic ones. And I just flip-flop back and forth because like there's so many mechanics in D&D that are complicated even for adults to pick up on. So
yeah,
I'll just run something simple like that.
When you're playing D&D or any role-playing game, let's say in a perfect world and like everyone will build around you, what is your favorite like class fantasy to play? Do you have a go-to?
Oh, you mean like if I actually get to play?
Like if you get to be a character, yeah.
Oh, I haven't played in so many years. I always like.
Doesn't have to be D&D, just any RPG game, like an archetype.
I like dwarfs and gnomes, and I usually like playing evil characters in RPGs, like evil / selfish characters that will just like burn the towns down to get just like self-interested. I find that's like a really fun way to play. And my friends typically
like
don't play that way. So
you like spellcasting or melee?
Oh, you're talking about
DPS,
not the role-playing
tank.
side? I don't know. Spellcasting is always fun. I love mages. You can't go wrong with a mage.
So you'd be like a dwarf or a gnome mage,
Yeah,
like a warlock.
Something like that. Yeah, like a warlock or a mage. You can't go wrong with the spells. I'm actually playing through BG2 with my friend right now. You and I have played BG3 together, Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
It took us like maybe 60 hours, right? It was a good time.
That was a great time, yeah.
But I'm playing Baldur's Gate. We played Baldur's Gate 1 and now we're on Baldur's Gate 2. They're the same engine, so they're very old. But I'm playing a wild mage and it's complete chaos. Very fun though. Every week is...
what are the wild? They like elves?
Wild mages are just like a regular mage, except they have access to every spell. So they're not like class dependent or like specialized dependent, but you have a 5% chance to roll the wild magic table, which is a D100, and it just has a random effect. And it could be spell targets you, or spell is unsavable, or a cow falls out the sky, or all your gold is deleted. It's just like silly stuff. Or there's a sex change. There's just like a bunch of different things. And there are ways to make it like surge less, but it's like part of the fun is the chaos. It's very bad. It's not saying it's good, but having a great time with it.
Yeah.
What about you, Hoyt? If you play D&D, what kind of character do you like to be?
I like, I want to be the healer, but I want to do damage. So like WoW had a discipline priest where they also have like the Holy Pally where you can heal by doing damage. That's my favorite class fantasy. I like the priest with like a heavy like smite build or like the fire of God build. So like I want to be like a mean healer who does heavy damage but can heal big. That's always like my favorite type of build. I just like healing because like I'm cool. I'm all about the end goal. and like getting to the objective. So if like the boys want to just go like dummy mode DPS and just take a ton of damage, I'm all here to support them and just keep them healed up. Like
For the team.
I like the support role.
Yeah,
So.
I remember when we played our campaign, you were a cleric, right?
Yes, I love cleric. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about cleric is I'm not like a mail or plate armor guy. I've always been like, I like the cloth, the light armor.
Like the rogue style armor. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, like more like mage. Yeah, like a mage priest is kind of like my vibe.
Cool.
I had to invent something, so.
Well,
very cool.
I'm definitely gonna have some more stories. We'll see how this group does with their campaign, but I'm sure they're gonna do some very dumb things as 10-year-olds tend to do. So I'm looking forward to bringing more stories to the pod.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for this week? You good?
That's gonna wrap it up. Yeah, make sure you join the Discord, and anyone who wants to check out Patreon, please do so. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care.